You're listening to Ka-Pow, the pop culture podcast. Comics, television, movies, and more. If it impacts fan culture, we have something to say about it. And now, your hosts, Michael, Jordan, Cliff, and Seth.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back for another focused Big Brother-related episode. I'm running out of adjectives for a dedicated Big Brother update.
Yeah,
Big Brother All-Stars.
This is going to be our week 8, I think, update. We did every 2 weeks here, 4, 6, and 8 here.
Who do we appreciate?
That's right.
Seth, for updating us.
It's a moment in time. Honestly, I just took a little nap. Not sure where I am. I have no confirmation who the nominees are, but I went in and put on my chart who they must be. So I haven't missed yet, I don't think, on that. So let's share a screen as we do. Okay. If
you are a patron of Ka-Pow, the Pop Culture Podcast, you can see the Zoom video we are currently recording, just $1 a month. Otherwise, listen harder and pick out all these many, many names.
Yes, listen harder. Okay, so last week, Ian went home, winner of season 14, and
he was the guy with autism.
Yes. So I wanted to point out that the whole thing where everybody was getting in trouble for making fun of him, and it was a big thing in the media. It's like that was specifically a thing that he did not want to be. He was like, I don't want to be the guy with autism, and he quickly became that once they started doing that. So that was unfortunate. But anyway, he ended up getting put on the block after a power was used. David had the power to get himself off the block, I believe, is what happened. I'm trying to think. Ian went up, and then there was a veto that Devon won, and she used her tiny little veto she won to take Kevin off the block, so that they had to put Tyler up, and Ian went home because Rat Cole, his friend, put on a little show. I shared some videos on our patron page, but any watchers of Big Brother that felt sorry for Nicole when she voted out Ian, and they've played it every episode since then. In the recap, they played her going, "Oh, it's so sad to vote out Nicole. Vote out Ian. It's so sad." She practiced that like so many times to prepare to look good to America and not look like a monster. And whatever, own it, lady.
I actually watched a little bit of the one right before that where Day had the veto and they were trying to convince her not to use it because it would make the other lady's game more difficult.
Right.
I was like,
what is
the motivation of that? You can't use the power to help your game. You're not without hurting my game. See, they were like guilt tripping her for playing her game.
It's all
is the 10 minutes I got.
That's the game.
From
that's the game. And if you succeed at convincing people not to use the powers that they have, that they should just use, then you're doing pretty good. But they were lying.
And then
to
the
her,
other guy, the David guy, was walking around
pretending to.
Because he got himself off the block, and he kept saying, "Did you get me off the block?" And not his soul believed him. Like, no, I assume you did it, idiot.
That was
like, but what? Who voted for him?
That's solid gold stuff right there. When Cody put his arm around Dave, I was like, dude, well, you gotta keep asking people. He's like, but
I didn't get that strategy.
it was a terrible strategy. He had they knew, they were like, I remember watching him last year, him saying he could make himself cry or whatever. Well, yeah, he just wanted to use that. I don't know. It was good TV. I didn't mind it. But now things have really turned around for him because, and it's funny because you'll hate somebody or like somebody, and as the season progresses, man, once you're the underdog, you start being likable. And when you start, and now that he's been made to look like a liar about voting out, he said he went with Davon and Kevin and voted to save Ian, and Nicole lied and said I voted to save Ian, so makes him look like a liar. And because he cried wolf before on the episode you're talking about, there's reason to not believe him.
And at the end of that one, she put up Ian, trying to use the terminology correctly, I hope I am.
Yeah.
And she said, like, the pawn of all pawns, Ian, as a
that was
compliment.
a lie. They had a meeting.
How is being a pawn a compliment? Of like, you're a great guy, Ian. You're the best pawn I've ever been around.
Basically, the meaning behind that was nobody would send you home. You're a complete pawn. We all love you.
You're just there to fill the seat.
Yes. Okay. You're the pawn of all pawn. Nobody would put you home, and that was a blatant lie. That she knew when she put him there, it was to get him out. They had a meeting at 4:00 in the morning, just a few hours before that, saying, "This is what we're going to do." In fact, she wanted to have everybody stand up, or raise their hands and say they would vote out Tyler, but they ended up realizing they weren't going to be able to do that. That's all.
For once, the handsome athletic guy gets away with it.
Oh, lucky.
I would have never guessed.
The guy that tried to quit. I think if they'd asked say who would vote out Tyler, he'd have raised his hand. So I vote me out. Anyway. So then Memphis won had a household competition, put together some puzzle. That guy, he's good at all this stuff. I don't remember him being that way in season 10, but he's good at these comps. Anyway, he got up. Danny did not use her power. She had a household. She had a power. Was the last one with a power, I think, to be able to play head of household again in a week she shouldn't have been able to, but she didn't use it, and she's going to use it, I believe, this week. So, she did. I think. I haven't seen it. I don't know, but she's using it on Memphis, so he's going to be able to play again. Doesn't matter. Cody won. And he is the new head of household. Memphis was. He put up Davon and Kevin, and they left it the same. And Davon left. And she gave one of the best speeches ever, really calling out the representation on the show. It was really a great, great speech. And she listed historically some people of color have played in the game and how you're always behind and all this, and it was really good. She should be the host now. Get rid of Julie because she's an idiot. I have her labeled as wall yeller because on the episode they show when you leave, they will show some videos of people saying goodbye to you, and that is supposedly when Nicole revealed to her that she had lied to her and voted Ian out, and Davon acted like she didn't know that already, but she did, because we had a wall yeller this past week again who yelled and basically said it, and we know that because they shut the feeds off for 18 hours. We didn't get to see anything because somebody yelled over the wall and affected the game. But we did see a few comments made, so we knew that she already knew this. But they all played it up for the show. But anyway, I'm going to show you a picture to kind of illustrate what Davon tried to say in her speech last night. So I'm going to stop that share and give you another share of the nominees for the first several weeks here. Let's see. Let's try this picture here. Do you see any similarities? Did I share that? Let me see.
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah. This is the week 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. I'm assuming these are the nominees for week 8. See any similarities? All the initial nominees.
It's like a paint swatch of very
Right.
similar hues.
Right. And they like to act like some people don't act like there's any kind of unfairness, but if or they'll say, hey, well, you could get in an alliance here early on like we did, but no, some of these people didn't create some great alliance. They were invited to it. You know who was not invited to the big alliance? These people on the screen. So it's a joke.
That sounds like a systemic problem the show has.
Yeah. It's just because they don't put enough. They, like I said before, they think that they are representing the society if you have this percentage of people. It's like, listen, it's not fair in the real world either. So maybe let's change it up for this. Anyway, that's good enough. The thing that's happening this week that has never happened before, coming up next week, we're going to have a 2-hour episode. First off, we have a neighbor moved in the backyard. It's kind of, Dr. Will, who was the winner of season 2 and is pretty much, still many people consider him the best player to ever play. I think
which Infinity Stone did he have?
Yeah. He is the guy in season 2, in 2001. That's the season where we had 9/11 and the people in the house were the last people to know that it happened. It's pretty good TV when they told them. But he just basically was the evil guy that manipulated people. And basically partway through the season, everyone hated him. But also couldn't help but like him because he was just like that. He just had the evil grin or whatever. I don't know. But he basically said, I hate all of you. I'm never going to. He played a couple seasons, never won a head of household, only went for prizes, basically just acted like he hated everybody and made it to the final 2 and won. Yeah, because he was just that good. Anyway, he moved in next door as just to host a competition and things. It's all, silly, but usually he's the guy at the end of the game when they have their before they vote. Well, the jury votes. They kind of talk to him, and he helps them work it out, what they're thinking. Anyway, they're doing every year they do at least one double eviction. There's an episode where in 1 hour, instead of doing the eviction, they do a double eviction, and they know it's coming. They plan for it. We're not sure when it's coming, but we're going to be ready. And they usually kind of hold off on getting rid of a big player till then. They're like, oh, we'll do this, that episode. We'll wait. We're going to work together till then. We'll wait. And so it makes the show this slog of putting up people of color all the time, yada, yada, yada. And then, okay, we're going to do this episode. Well, now next week there's a triple eviction. BB Canada had done that a couple times, and it's usually pretty exciting. I expect this to be a great episode, but where they have dropped the ball is we have finally got to 8 or 9 people left. This is what we've been waiting for. This is when you're down to just a couple people left outside of the big alliance. Now they're going to make these big moves, and the next few weeks could be great. They should have already done the double eviction last week. Now they're going to do a triple eviction. So in 1 2-hour episode, all this stuff's going to happen. It's going to be cool, but you're skipping the weeks of the great part of the sandwich where we get to see all the strategy play out. It's going to just be boom, it all happened this week, and then we're going to go back to this slog.
The final. The fewer people in the house, the fewer cogs are turning, the fewer.
Yeah, it gets boring again once you get down to a few people. So, all the best part of the game, they're going to do it in one episode. they're out of their minds. I don't even know. So whatever. My head hurts.
All right.
That's it. That's just that's Big Brother, baby. I love it.
He loves it. He hates it. He can't get enough of it.
That's right.
Thank you for sticking with us for another Big Brother recap. We'll be back with more, probably week 10, I'm guessing. If the math holds.
Yeah, I'll tell you what happened.
Okay. Thanks again. My name is Jordan Lowe.
I'm Cliff Barnes.
I'm Seth. Bye, Fro.
Ka-Pow, the pop cultured podcast, is intended for entertainment and information purposes only. Sounds, music, and clips played during the podcast are property of copyright holders. All original content is property of www.udownwithkpp.com. If you enjoyed this podcast, please subscribe and leave a comment. Ka-Pow, the pop cultured podcast, is available on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Podbean, Spotify, and wherever podcasts can be found. You can connect with us through social media on Facebook, YouTube, at the Ka-Pow Podcast on Twitter, or email the show, Ka-Pow, the pop cultured podcast, @gmail.com. If you really want to go the extra mile, please sign up to be a patron through the Podbean app or our website, www.udownwithkpp.com, to receive special content and early access to some episodes. We are grateful to anyone that chooses to contribute, but please know that most of our content will always remain free, so please continue to like, comment, and share.